Welcome back to the show, everybody. Happy New Year to everybody. I hope everybody had a good New Year. Mine was pretty good. Welcome back to the show. It's Monday morning, 7:30 Eastern, which means I am live here on the Rumbles, just ahead of your Rumble lineup. Thank you so much for joining me this morning on this chilly, but not so too bad Monday. It's Monday, the beginning of a new week, the beginning of a new year, as it were. And I hope everybody had a good, happy New Year. And stayed safe, had hung out with the fam, that kind of stuff. That's pretty much what I didn't do a whole lot, I'll be honest with you. If anybody watched some football over the weekend, Denver's got the number 1 seed locked up. I'm happy about that. I know. It's a political show. I'm talking about football. But you know what? I'm happy. Denver's the number 1 seed. Best season they've had since 2015. And I'm happy about it. So I'm excited. Give me a break. And you can talk all you want. Well, they played their starters in San Diego, or not San Diego, L.A. Chargers, rather. They played their backups because they're, already had their spot locked up and blah, blah, blah. I don't care. A win's a win. We've got the number 1 seed. Suck it. Whatever. Anyways, man, what a weekend. What a kickoff to the new year. We have, Venezuela. It went down. President Trump said, you know what? F around and find out. And that's pretty much what happened. We've got Maduro has been captured by U.S. forces. Oh, boy. This is dominating the headlines. Of course, the left is losing their minds over it. I've got a personal opinion of it. And you know what? I've got some criticism for the left, if you're of this opinion. It wasn't too long ago that you were protesting, having a rally for the No Kings. So, you know what? I don't care. You're hypocrites. And which we all are. We all are hypocrites. I'll give you that. But you know what? You can't. It's like October was the last No Kings Day. What was it, like 70-something days ago? And now you're saying no kings, no dictators, blah, blah, blah. But when the U.S. actually takes out a dictator, then you've got other things to say. They're protesting for taking. The guy was he's wanted for war crimes, drug trafficking. Trump was criticized before by the left for not doing anything about Maduro. Now he finally has, and they're still complaining. It just furthers my point. Look, President Trump, he could come out and say, look, breathing is so good. It's the best thing in the world. I can't believe that breathing is so fantastic. I can't get enough of it, blah, blah, blah. And they would hold their breath until they die. That's how much they despise this guy. It's not because they think it's not because they don't like his policies. It's simply because Orange Man bad. That is it. He could come out and cure cancer. They think it would be the worst thing in the world. Tell me differently. Prove me wrong. It does not matter what the man does. He's always going to get hate from the left. Sorry to say, that's just how it is. But anyway. Goodness gracious. Okay, so we've got I want to cover this just a little bit. We remember the daycare scandal in Minnesota, right? Well, I saw this last night scrolling through the interwebs on the X's, and this is insane to me. Now we have daycares in Minnesota willing to pay up to $1,500 for children actors simply to be there. Need any more proof? This was on Craigslist for the Minnesota area, and it just so happens, as far as I understand it now, I don't know Minnesota. I don't know. I've never been to Minnesota. Don't know the area, but I'm telling you what, it seems to be, as far as I understand it, this is right there where the Leering Center is at. Now they're asking they're willing to pay up to $1,500 per child, mind you. $1,500 per paid actor. Check this out. This is insane to me. Look at this. We pay up to $1,500 actor per day. If you are interested, please send your child's age and a note of what makes your child a special actor. Submit phone number as well, as we will be doing quick phone interviews as part of the hiring process. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to read this ad. $1,500 per day, up to 3 days, $4,500 total. And the left is going to say there's nothing to see here. This is just, it's fluff, whatever they want to call it. There's nothing to see here. These are legitimate businesses. Anybody else buy this? I don't. There is no way that anybody could believe that. But here we are. Now, this is a Ventura Village. If somebody is actually in the Minnesota area, wherever this is taking, let me know. Because like I said, as far as I understand it, this is in that area where that Learning Center, they changed it. They put a little patch over it saying Learning Center now. But as far as I understand it, this is that same area that they had this going on. Now they're willing to pay child actors to just simply be at a daycare, which they're supposed to be being paid for the child care. But they're willing to pay you $1,500 just for your child to be there. Suspicious much? I think so. Let's take a look at this next one here. You guys tell me. This is insane. Child diet, blah, 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 blah. Monday morning, everybody. It's a live show. Bear with me. I appreciate everybody being here. On your way to work, getting ready for work, whatever the case may be. I know of one person in particular who's actually on his way to work. Thanks for being here. And child daycare. Anyway, hiring child actors for 3-day contract, Ventura Village. Again, let me know if you're in that area. You can let me know if this is the area, as far as I understand it. This is that area where that Learning Center is. My family runs a daycare here in the city and have for over 5 years, until Monday when funding was cruelly ripped away without cause. Without cause? Seriously? Due to this insane poor decision, while in white supremacy, we had to close our doors immediately. We must prove we are a functioning daycare to get the funding back. The issue is the entire client base has already found new daycare services, so we need to find a new client base quickly. Do you buy this BS? I don't. This is insane. To help hurry this state vetting process, we are looking to hire 20 child actors for 3 days while state is present on site. They're openly saying that they will hire children to pretend that they actually attend said daycare. They'll give you $1,500 a day in order to fool the state so they can receive federal funding. We pay up to $1,500 actor per day. If you are interested, please send your child's age and a note of what makes your child a special actor. Submit phone number as well, blah, 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 blah. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to read this ad. This is insane. They're not even hiding it. They're not even hiding it. And people still are defending this crap. Make it make sense. It makes none. Anyway. If you're joining me this morning, I do appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that follow button. I do appreciate the support. Excuse me. Still trying to get rid of this cough from the cold that I had. Look, I had that. It's insane. For like the whole month of December, I had like this head cold. It would not go away. And now I'm still dealing with the cough. I heard some rumor about a super cold flying around. I don't know. Maybe that's what I got. But still dealing with the cough. So just bear with me if I do cough or excuse myself. I do apologize. Anyway. Maduro, Venezuela. It went down over the weekend. Going into Saturday morning, President Trump and his admin ordered a strike on Venezuela. And it was pretty precise, if you ask me. There was no civilian casualties, as far as we understand. There was some injuries due to the attack strike force, attack team, whatever you want to call them. But no fatalities. No one lost their life in the raid, strike, again, whatever you want to call it. This is fantastic. I am on board with this 100%. And I'll tell you why. Venezuela and Maduro, for one, the guy's a dictator. He was voted out of office and just stayed. Didn't leave. What the left is always screaming about what President Trump is going to do when he reached the end of his second term is he's just not going to leave. He's just going to keep himself in power. That's not going to happen, for one. For two, The very same thing that they're complaining about, that they're afraid of what Trump is going to do. He's not going to vacate office. He's going to try and stay in power and blah, blah. It's exactly what Maduro did, okay? And for two, he's in bed with the cartels. He does drug trafficking. He does all this stuff. And if you want to protest him, you better not, because he'll have your ass run over by his military in tanks. It happened. But the left is crying out to the heavens that Trump can't do this. You got left protesters in the street saying, "Free Maduro," when they had, in October, just a few months ago, they had a No Kings rally. But when a supposed king, a dictator, is taken out of power, oh, they throw a fit. Why? Because it's President Trump that did it. That is the only reason. It's the Trump admin that did it. That's why. That's it. That's the only reason why. This is ridiculous, but this is where we're at. We'll take a look at this, and this is from Donald Trump's Truth Social account. The United States of America has successfully carried out a large-scale strike against Venezuela and its leader, President Nicolas Maduro. Not president. I beg to differ on the terminology, the wording of the tweet or the truth post, whatever you want to call it. Excuse me. Dang. Not a president. Illegitimate. Shouldn't have been in power anymore. Had no right or claim to said presidency. Shouldn't have been there. No kings, right? That's what you wanted. Who has been, along with his wife, captured and flown out of the country. This operation was done in conjunction with the U.S. law enforcement. Details to follow. There will be a news conference today at 11 a.m. at Mar-a-Lago. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Took him out. And you know what? I'm not sad about it. I say good. Look, it's not too long ago that we had the boats. Everybody's freaking out because President Trump is laying waste to drug trafficking. President Trump is the only person I have ever known in my I'm pretty old, but in my lifetime, I don't remember any other president taking out drug traffickers, drug smugglers, trying to smuggle drugs into the United States. He's the only one that I know of that has the left in a frenzy over not letting drugs into the United States. You could say what you want about the tactics, sure, whatever. I'm fine with it. I am. Anyway, look, Maduro dared Trump to do this. He dared him to do it. He said, come get me. He told us where he was going to be. There's a viral video flying around the internet that pretty much sums up the entire thing. We'll take a look at it here. And like I said, he dared Trump to come get him. Dared him. So you know what? F around and find out. That's what I say. Take a look at this. Called him a coward. Said, come get me, coward. He dared him. Why? Because nothing's ever been done. Keep in mind the left was ragging on Trump previously because it never did anything about Maduro. Now that he actually has done something about Maduro, they're still in a frenzy. It doesn't matter what he does. You can't convince me otherwise. I say again, he could come out and say breathing is the most bestest thing in the world, and there's nothing like it, and it's fantastic. People would start holding their breath. Why? Simply because Orange Man bad. Tell me otherwise. You changed my mind. I don't think that there is some people out there. I truly believe in this. I'm not. This is not hyperbole. This is not me joke. I'm telling you right now, if he came out and said that breathing is fantastic and it's the best thing in the world, there's people out there that will hold their breath just to try and spite President Trump. That's it. You can't. Anyway. despite what you may think of President Trump, whatever the case may be, fine. You know what? That video, I don't actually the video of the strikes. I don't know. I don't know for certainty if that's actually Venezuela, Caracas. Maybe. But I want to say I might have seen that video somewhere else before. It might be somewhere Israel. I don't know. Could be somewhere else. I'm not sure. But you know what? The point of the video being, F around and find out. You dared the U.S. to come get you. You dared President Trump. You called him a coward. You said, I'm here in Caracas. Come for me. Okay. Anyway, we'll take a look at this little video. I'm not gonna show. This is like a 10-minute press video of Joint Chief Raisin. I hope I don't know. I think that's it, like his call sign, nickname, whatever, military nickname. It's Dan Kane's comments on the raid, strike, again, whatever you want to call it. But this is what he has said about it. I'm not going to show the entire, because it's like 10 minutes. Show a little bit, but like I said before, no casualties on our side. No civilian casualties, as far as we understand it to this point. At the time of this video being made, no civilian casualties being, and people are celebrating. Venezuela is happy about this. But the left in America, they are just beside themselves. How could he do this? Oh, my God, this is so terrible. Again, whatever. I'm here for it. Anyway. No sound on the clip. Seriously? Maybe let me see. Hold. Yep. I got you. Let me go ahead and I'll go back here. My bad. It's a live show, everybody.
Arrived at Maduro's compound at 1:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 2:01 a.m. Caracas local time, and the apprehension force descended into Maduro's compound and moved with speed, precision, and discipline towards their objective, and isolated the area to ensure the safety and security of the ground force while apprehending the indicted persons. On arrival into the target area, the helicopters came under fire, and they replied with that fire with overwhelming force in self-defense. One of our aircraft was hit, but remained flyable, and as the President said earlier today, all of our aircraft came home, and that aircraft remained flyable during the rest of the mission. As the operation unfolded at the compound, our air and ground intelligence teams provided real-time updates to the ground force, ensuring those forces could safely navigate the complex environment without unnecessary risk. The force remained protected by overhead tactical aviation. Maduro and his wife, both indicted, gave up and were taken into custody by the Department of Justice, assisted by our incredible U.S. military with professionalism and precision, with no loss of U.S. life. After securing the indicted persons, the force began to prep for departure.
Okay, so no loss of American life. There was some injuries, to be said, sure. Coming under heavy fire. They returned fire, self-defense. Yeah, look, a swift. We all remember the bombing run that President Trump had taken place. That was pretty swift, pretty good. I mean, they were out of there before they even knew what hit them. This is kind of the same thing. Look, precision strikes. And I can tell you right now, anybody who knows me knows that I'm a big fan. I think personally, and this is just my personal opinion, that if you're going to serve as the commander in chief in the United States as president, I think personally you should have some military time. Now, whether that be a couple years in the National Guard or whatever the case may be, I personally think that if you're going to be in charge of the United States Armed Forces, I think that you should have at least a basic understanding of how it works, and I think that you should have served in uniform. That's just my opinion. I know that's not the case. You don't have that's not a requirement to be the president of the United States. I think it should be. That's just my opinion, though. Anyway, that being said, the way that I don't know, he's got to have like the Joint Chiefs and everything. They have to be phenomenal because the strikes that President Trump has had taken place have just been precise and no casualties. You know, just think about it. Think about the botched withdrawal from Afghanistan, where we had 13 service members killed from a botched withdrawal, leaving millions and billions of dollars worth of equipment, gear, ammunition, firearms, this type of stuff, helicopters. Think about that compared to what's happening now. Precision strikes, deadly accuracy, no casualties, no civilian casualties as far as we understand it at this point, at the time of this video being made. This has been fantastic as far as like from a military standpoint. In my opinion, you guys can tell me what you think, but, I think it's been pretty good thus far.
Helicopters were called in to exfiltrate the extraction force, while fighter aircraft and remotely piloted aircraft provided overhead coverage and suppressive fire. There were multiple self-defense engagements as the force began to withdraw out of Venezuela. The force successfully exfiltrated and returned to their afloat launch bases, and the force was over the water at 3:29 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with indicted persons on board. And both Maduro and his wife were embarked aboard the USS Iwo Jima.
So, on board the USS Iwo Jima. Look, like I said, you can say what you want, but you know what? Precision strikes. There was no American loss of life, and again, as far as we know, no civilian casualties. That's pretty dang good. Pretty dang good. Again, now President Trump has come up. He has said that I think her name is Rodriguez, who is the now apparently this is the one that was supposedly elected during the previous election, and Maduro refused to leave office. She has taken power, as far as I understand it, at the time of this video. President Trump has come out and said that, look, we've talked. She seems forthright and forthcoming. But you know what? She's got some things to take care of, and if she doesn't, it could be bad for her too. Just throwing that out there. Make sure you don't mess around like Maduro did. Let me see here. Injured troops. Okay, here's I'm going to show you this little clip. This is from President Trump on Air Force One, talking about that there was some injuries but no loss of life on the American side as far as U.S. forces going in. We'll take a look.
It was a very dangerous operation. It was amazing that we had a few injured, but all are in good shape right now. But I knew there was great danger. We got off the helicopters were being shot at. And they got on the ground. Amazing talent and tremendous patriotism, bravery. The bravery was incredible.
So bravery was incredible. Yeah, I would say so. That's probably an understatement by President Trump. But incredible bravery, I think so. Now, the left is coming out. They are freaking out about this. Now, keep in mind, again, I'll say this again. No King's Rally was October, 70-something days ago, something like that. And they were so proud of it. They were so proud of the fact that they had so many come out and attend this protest and blah, 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 blah. And now they're out there protesting the Trump administration because they took out a dictator and a so-called king. You can't make this stuff up. They just look. You cannot convince me that these are not like a lot of these, and I'm saying not all, but I am 100% serious when I say that there's definitely some paid actors in these protests. You cannot convince me otherwise, because how do you have so many people, okay? It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. You can try and explain it to me if you think you can explain it away, that's fine. I don't understand how there's hundreds and thousands of people who protest at no kings and then come out and protest that we took out a king. It doesn't make sense, because it doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, take a look at this clip. We'll show you some protesters. They're mad, big upset at the fact that President Trump took out a king, took out a dictator, an unelected person, a guy who should not have been in office anymore. He was elected he was supposed to leave office peacefully. The thing that the left is so terrified of with President Trump, this guy actually did. And they're still mad at President Trump for doing this. But yeah.
With me all.
And I'm gonna say one thing too. Is this? I don't get this person, but is it? Are they going for the girl look? Are they going for the? Are they supposed to be? I don't know.
Hands off Venezuela! Hands off Venezuela! Free President Maduro! La lucha sigue! Libertad, socialismo o muerte! Venceremos! With me all.
Look, I don't know about y'all, but I heard free President Maduro, and that was about it. And hands off Venezuela. I understood that part. The rest of it, I don't know what the fuck they're saying. Do you? Chime in. You guys can tell me what you think. Here's this shouldn't surprise anybody. This is in Portland. Shouldn't surprise anybody that this is in Portland, but it's Portland. The same place where the ICE agents building has been under siege for months and months and months. Shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody, but this is Portland, and they're protesting too. Let's take a look here. Free Maduro. Again, no King's rally. Well, you want both ways. They want it both ways.
Venezuela now! Venezuela now! Free Maduro! Free him now! Free Maduro! Free him now! Venezuela to Iran! Venezuela to Iran! No more sanctions! No more bombs! No more sanctions! No more bombs! Venezuela to Iran!
Here's another thing that I understand this is over the weekend. I do. But all them young people that are out there, look, a lot of my personal experience. This is anecdotal, sure, but you know what? I can say a lot of these are younger people. Don't they? They don't have jobs. A lot of the younger people, they work weekends. A lot of times. Sometimes not. But the No Kings was not too long ago. But you can't have it both ways. You can't have like a No Kings protest and then come out and protest that there's been a king that was taken out of power. You cannot have it both ways. This is what I'm saying. When I'm saying that it does not matter what President Trump does, they will always be against it. Always. Convince me otherwise. Excuse me. Get that out. Okay, so during the Biden administration, Maduro had a $25 million, yes, you heard me correctly, M with an M, as in Mike, $1 million bounty. This is the Biden administration did it. Not Trump. Biden did this. It's not hard to find. You can see it. Just you use the World Wide Webs. You can see it. I encourage everyone, Go do your own research, do your homework, take a look at things. A lot of the times it takes 5 minutes, sometimes less, sometimes it takes just a 5-second Google search. You can do your own research, come to your own conclusions. Don't believe everything that you hear on the mainstream media outlets, because most of the time it's not true, especially if it's coming from CNN, CBS, MSNBC, these types of things, even Fox News. I don't trust Fox News either. I don't. That's just me, though. You can compare. Watch Fox News. Watch the same thing on CNN. See the contrasting opinions. See the different people. You can see it everywhere. It's not just me. We'll take a look at this one. This is Joe Biden. Joe Biden, okay? Trump talks tough on Venezuela, but admires thugs and dictators like Nicolas Maduro. As president, I will stand with the Venezuelan people and for democracy. Really? Is that why nothing was done when you were in office? You had the presidency for 4 years. You and old Kamala la 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 la. 4 years you had the presidency. Not a word. Not a single word. Kamala, this is a direct quote. Venezuela is a country, but we don't live there. So it's not our country. And when we go there, we are in another country. End quote. That's a direct quote from Kamala Harris. And that person wanted to be the president of the United States. Yeah. No thanks. No thanks. Thank God that we don't have her as the president. But anyway, old Chucky Schumer, he, look, in, I will tell you, Chucky Schumer, guy, again, everybody's a hypocrite. Everybody's a hypocrite. But you cannot have it both ways. Back in 20, Chucky Schumer was raving about how President Trump needed to do something about Maduro. He comes out over the weekend on mainstream media and says, how dare you? You shouldn't have done this. You need a... Look, I'm going to tell you right now. It's not a declaration of war. You can say all you want that it has to be cleared through Congress for an act of war. Not entirely accurate, but kind of. Sure, you can make the argument. But this was not a declaration of war. And let's not forget that old Obama had, what, a couple 100,000 drone strikes, did some other operations, all without congressional, hearings and approvals. So again, I know everybody's hypocritical. Everybody's human. Everybody can be hypocritical. But you can't have it both ways. It's rules for thee, not for me. It's okay when the Democrats do it. A Democrat's in the White House. And if they did something like this, it's totally fine. What makes me think that? The thousands of drone strikes that Obama made. Chucky Schumer. Just listen to what he says here.
He brags about all these things he wants to do or is doing, but his actions belie his words. Maybe the best metaphor was his claim to bring democracy to Venezuela. There was a big policy there. It flopped. If the policy was working, Juan Guaido wouldn't be in the balcony here. He'd be in Venezuela. He'd be sitting in the president's palace, or at least waging a fight to win. He's here. And the president brags about his Venezuela policy? Give us a break. He hasn't brought an end to the Maduro regime. The Maduro regime is more powerful today and more entrenched today than it was when the president began.
So what can the Congress do about it?
Okay, so that was back in 2020. Complaining about the fact that President Trump's not doing anything about Maduro. Fast forward to this last weekend. I don't know if this was Saturday or Sunday, but...
Is the next question.
Well, the next question is very simple, and that is that we have the War Powers Act. That's a privilege resolution, which means the Republicans can't block it. Tim Kaine and I and Rand Paul are sponsors of it. It's going to come to the floor this week. And if it is voted for, if it's voted positively in both houses, then the president can't do another thing in Venezuela without the okay of Congress. We have to pass it.
In your
President Trump.
Yeah. What do you think? They want rules for thee, but not for me. It's okay. Look, again, this just comes. It does not matter what President Trump does. It's always going to be bad. They just hate him. It doesn't matter what he does. He could come out and cure cancer. Doesn't matter. They'd come out and say, this is bad. Anyway. I'm going to show you this other one. This was, again, this during the Biden administration. This is Karine Jean-Pierre talking about this. Biden administration, mind you. Okay? Keep that in mind.
Quickly turn to Venezuela, where Maduro once again demonstrated his complete disregard for democratic norms and proceeded with his illegitimate inauguration. As President Biden emphasized during his meeting with President-elect Edmundo Gonzalez Urrutia on Monday, January 6, we believe that it is essential that the will of the Venezuelan people is respected. In coordination with our partners, we've given Maduro and his representatives every opportunity to restore democracy, but they haven't. So today we are building on all of our previous actions and taking further major actions. We announced new sanctions on key Maduro-aligned officials as a part of our efforts to hold them accountable, and we imposed more visa restrictions totaling nearly 2,000 individuals. We also increased the reward amount to $25 million for Nicolas Maduro and his so-called Minister of Interior as part of the Department of State's Narcotics Rewards Program. Quickly.
There you go. The Biden administration, they put a bounty out on the guy, gave a $25 million reward. Nothing happened. But then as soon as Trump goes in and actually takes some action, it's bad. It's terrible. Shouldn't be taking place. Now the left is coming out and saying that, Venezuela, the Venezuelan people, blah, they're happy. They're excited. They're ecstatic. Why? Keep in mind, Maduro was voted out. Okay? Wasn't supposed to. He's the very definition of an illegitimate, president. He's a dictator. Was rightfully, democratically, if you want to call it that, voted out of office, just stayed. The very same thing that the Democrats are afraid of Trump doing, which he's not going to. They say that, but the Venezuelan people, they're excited. They're happy. Why? Take a look at some of the videos that are roaming around the World Wide Webs. They're not upset about this. They're excited. Why? Because before, when they held a protest, Maduro would send out the army and run people over with the tanks. The video's out there. You can watch it. They're having fun. They're having a party. It's exciting. They're over the moon. Why? Because there's no more dictator. The person that was supposed to be I don't know. The person that was supposedly voted in when he was supposed to leave office, she's the one that's in charge now. President Trump has interactions with her. He said that everything has been fine. Time will tell. We will see. Look, no more drugs into America. This guy wasn't doing anything about it. He already had a $25 million reward on the guy's head. I'm okay with this. I'm fine with it. It wasn't an act of war. We're not at war with Venezuela. We just took out their dictator. Didn't even take him out, per se. Just captured him. He's going to serve time. He's going to be held on trial for war crimes and smuggling drugs into the country. Good. Good. Let justice be served. Should it not be? You guys tell me. They're happy in Venezuela. They're happy. They're over the moon. Here's another one of them just, whoa. What am I doing here? Get rid of that. Anyway. Anyway, I don't think, I haven't seen a video of Venezuelans like crying or being upset or anything. I haven't seen that video. If it's out there, you guys can show it to me. Send me a link, whatever, the case may be. Show it to me. Let me see it. I would love to see it because I haven't seen it yet. I've seen a lot of people actually from Venezuela going on to the TikToks and everything else saying, look, we're happy about this. This is something that we've wanted. I saw a woman crying, breaking down and crying because her older brother had been killed by Maduro. I don't know specifically by Maduro himself, probably his army, his regime. But the fact of the matter is, she was crying because she was so happy that he is gone. That video's out there. I've seen that one. CNN, unhinged CNN. Look, there's just no good argument for this. There's not. You can try and make the arguments of why this is bad, but there's just the guy he was illegitimately still in power. Should have left and let the new president take over. He did not. He stayed in power. He's the very definition of a fascist and a dictator. Something that the left supposedly hates and does not want and just outright, would expel. Again, this is just because it's President Trump. You cannot convince me otherwise. This is CNN just getting owned. Every clip I've seen, CNN. Now, they refuse mainstream media, CNN, MSNBC, CBS, whatever the case may be. I haven't even seen it on Fox. You can tell me if I'm wrong. You can send me a clip. Sure. I may have missed something. But you know what? Send it to me, and I will backtrack. I'll say, okay, so they actually did. But I haven't seen anything from the mainstream outlets showing the celebrations happening in Venezuela. Anything showing that there's people that are happy about this. As far as like a dictator being thrown out of power, they're fine with it. And so am I. But CNN just can't help themselves.
Tiffany, let me ask you, if you knew they had drugs, if you knew they had drugs, would you bomb them, yes or no? If you knew they had drugs, why not? Those drugs are going to kill people.
Would you bomb? She said no. Why not? If it was the only way, look, you can send some troops in, maybe run the risk of losing some American lives. I'd prefer not to. Do it the easy way.
They don't deserve to get killed. Those drugs are going to kill. Of course, those drugs would come into our country and kill people. Hold on a second.
Look, we are not judge, jury, and executioner, she says. You know what? When they're smuggling drugs into the United States that kill Americans, yeah, I'm fine with it. You can call me hate, you can call me evil, whatever. I'm fine with it. Look, what happens if it saves one life, right? Well, that's the thing, right? That's the thing that the left says. If it saves one life, we can use that same thinking, that same argument. If it saves one life.
We are not judge, jury, and executioner
yes,
in
we
this
are.
country.
If you're going to come and execute our people, we are going to blow you to smithereens. Tiffany,
look, here's the thing. When you're smuggling drugs into the country, what do you think that their intentions are? You could argue, they want to keep selling the drugs. They want to keep people alive. Sure, you can make that argument. But people OD on drugs a lot, okay? It's killing people. And when you have drug traffickers, drug smugglers trying to smuggle drugs, and I saw another clip of a guy saying, well, they're just smuggling cocaine, and 90% of it doesn't even come into the U.S. Who gives a shit? Look, I don't care. I don't care if just 10% of it is coming to the United States. Blow their ass up. I don't care. I don't. You can call me evil, spiteful, evil, whatever. Fine. I don't want that crap getting into the United States. I don't. And I would argue the fact that the people that are smuggling said drugs into the United States, they're the evil ones. That's what I would say. Should be spiteful, but you know what? I'm okay with losing a couple of them over a few of us. President Trump has also come out and said that Trump he's signaling Mexico to take care of their cartel problem, or they may be next. Now, Claudia Sheinbaum, who is now the elected official leader of Mexico, as far as I understand it, has been cordial with President Trump. She's come out and said a couple things after she's spoken with him and been cordial with him and coming out publicly and saying the opposite. But I'm not in those meetings, phone calls, whatever the case may be, so I don't know. But I would tend to believe that that's the case. According to the Post Millennial now, we have Trump signals Mexican cartels may be next after Maduro. Something is going to have to be done. Yes. It's my belief, and this is just my belief, my thinking, my perspective, my opinion. This is an opinion show, which is live Monday through Friday, 7:30 Eastern, just ahead of your Rumble lineup. Don't forget to hit that follow button. It's my opinion that she's probably just there's two possibilities in my mind, okay? Either one, she's afraid of the cartels and she's just not going to push back against them, or two, she's actually paid by the cartels or in bed with cartel, whatever that case may be. She's complicit. She's not complicit in it. I don't think so. But we'll take a look at this story. Ooh, excuse me. President Donald Trump has signaled that the cartels in Mexico may be next after the U.S. military conducted a capture of Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro. He made the comments while speaking out about the operation to capture Maduro. Look, here's the thing with Sheinbaum. I think that's how you say her name. It doesn't matter. She's been offered help by President Trump, saying, look, we can offer military assistance, help you try and take care of the cartels. She's turned him down. She said, no, we don't want to do that. Why not? Why not? Because she's either in bed with the cartels or being paid by the cartels, or she just is afraid of them and doesn't want to reap any kind of repercussions, as it were. That's what I think. That's my perspective. Again, this is just an opinion show. I don't know. I don't know her. The president said that something has to be done with the cartels in Mexico. While speaking on Fox News, Trump said that Claudia Sheinbaum, although she is the president of Mexico, is not running Mexico. I would tend to believe that fact just because of the fact that the cartels have pretty much run Mexico, my opinion, for a very, very, very long time at this point. We'll take a look at this little clip here on Fox News, and this was President Trump on the phone. Let's see.
I wonder, Mr. President, though, I want to ask you because from your vice president, J.D. Vance, said that the message is pretty clear. The drug trafficking must stop. So was this operation a message that you're sending to Mexico, to Claudia Sheinbaum, the president there?
Well, it wasn't meant to be, and we're very friendly with her. She's a good woman, but the cartels are running Mexico. She's not running Mexico. The cartels are running Mexico. And we could be politically correct and be nice and say, oh, yes, she is. No, she's very, she's very frightened of the cartels. They're running Mexico. And I've asked her numerous times, would you like us to take out the cartels? No, Mr. President. No, please. So we have to do something because we lost. The real number is 300,000 people, in my opinion. They like to say 100,000. 100,000 is a lot of people, but the real number is 300,000 people, and we lost it to drugs, and they come in through the southern border, mostly the southern border. Plenty come in through Canada, too, by the way, in case you...
Okay, so, again, he's outright said, look, do you want us to help out? No, Mr. President. No, she said no. Why? Either she's afraid of the cartels or she's being paid off and she's actually in bed with the cartels. If you can think of a different reason, you can let me know, but that's what I think. Could I be wrong? Sure. There could be some other thing that I'm not thinking about, but that's what me thinks. Anyway, let's take a look at this one. So we have to do something. We lost the real number, 300,000 people. In my opinion, people say it's like 100,000. 100,000 a lot. The comments from Trump come on the heels of a successful operation in Venezuela to capture Maduro and the Venezuelan leader's wife, who are both now facing charges in the U.S. related to narco-terrorism, drug trafficking, and weapons. Yeah. And I say good. Fantastic. How could you not think that it's a good thing? I don't. The people, the lefties coming out and protesting, I don't explain it to me. Tell me your thinking, because I don't get it. Like I said before, you had a No Kings rally back in October. So, and now that we took out a king, a dictator, look, the whole thing about the left with President Trump is that he's a dictator. He's not going to leave office. He's going to continue to try and keep power and blah, 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 blah. And then the second that we take out a dictator, not take out, we captured him. He's going to face trial. And I say good. But they're up in arms about it. They say that this is terrible. We shouldn't be doing this. We shouldn't have we don't have boots on the ground in Venezuela, for one. It was a coordinated strike, and a fantastic one. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, if I was Mexico, the cartels, Scheinbaum should be saying, sure, yeah, come on in. Yeah. Why? Because look at what they just did. Look at the very, very small fraction of strikes that President Trump has done compared to, like Obama. They have been precision, like dead accuracy, no casualties, no civilian casualties, just fantastically operated, well done, well planned out. This is something that they said they've been planning for a while. Waited for the right, climate for the helos to go in and the strike to take place. Look, it took. I want to say it was like it was within a span of like 3 hours. They took out Venezuela's air defenses and captured Maduro and his wife. Where else in the world can you get a precision strike like that? I say kudos. Good job to the military and the law enforcement that was assisting with the operation. I say it's fantastic. If you don't think so, you can let me know. I'm all for this. I'm here for it. I got to wrap it up there. I'm going to start getting ready for work. It's Monday. I hope everybody has a fantastic week. And it's the new year, everybody, and we started it off with a bang, to say the very, very least. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start getting ready for work. I appreciate everybody hanging out with me this morning on your way to work or getting ready for work or whatever the case may be, hanging out in your PJs. It's all good. I'm just happy that you're here. I was happy to be here. Glad to be back on this fresh new year. And hope everybody has a fantastic Monday. And don't forget, you can hit that follow button. I really do appreciate the support. You can also follow me on X at The Political Ray. I'm also on True Social at Political Ray. And I appreciate everybody hanging out with me this morning. I hope everybody has a fantastic day. God bless. Take care of each other. I will see everybody tomorrow morning on Tuesday. Thanks again.